Good enough? All right, thanks. Let's see how I'm going to go. Okay, no disclosures. So in the brain, cerebral amyloid angiopathy and CAA-related inflammation, which includes the term ABRA, a form of vasculitis here, can be difficult to differentiate in some cases, even after biopsy. There are very few reports of vessel wall imaging findings of these diagnoses in the literature. So our goal is just to characterize conventional angiographic and vessel wall imaging findings of these conditions. To do this, we did a retrospective review of all patients over a 2-year time period who had either of these diagnoses at our institution, who also underwent vessel wall imaging. The final consensus diagnosis was obtained by rheumatology and neurology evaluation by specialists on retrospective chart review, blinded to vessel wall imaging data. At our institution, patients often don't get biopsies. The imaging was evaluated by consensus by 2 neuroradiologists. Results, a small number of patients, but a lot more than had been previously reported. We had 10 patients. Circumferential cortical vessel wall enhancement was found in 5 of 6 patients with the CAA-related inflammation, and none of the non-inflammatory cases. The one case of CAA-related inflammation without inflammation was a special case where we imaged with vessel wall imaging after surgical evacuation of most of the involved area. Leptomeningeal enhancement was seen in areas of all 6 cases with the CAA-related inflammation and in actually 2 of the CAA cases, and that has been reported as well. You can have leptomeningeal enhancement without inflammation if there's subarachnoid hemorrhage or siderosis. Luminal narrowing suggestive vasculitis was seen in none of the cases of CAA-related inflammation, and actually, interestingly, in 1 case of non-inflammatory CAA. Just an example of our 5 patients that had cortical vessel wall enhancement. Usually, well, these are proton density space images with gadolinium, 0.5 millimeter isotropic spatial resolution, the MSDE. And usually we're looking at the larger vessels intracranially, but if you look really carefully, you can actually make out cortical vessel wall enhancement, I think, reliably and differentiate it from leptomeningeal enhancement. I've got some examples of that here. Here's our example of a case of CAA, ultimately diagnosed with non-inflammatory CAA that had multiple areas of narrowing on conventional angiography, came to vessel wall imaging. I was told it was going to be floridly positive for vasculitis, but it was not. That was interesting. And it just reminds me that those were 10 patients, but we continue to have additional cases that we're collecting that are showing similar findings, but we haven't done a formal analysis yet. So hopefully we'll have more cases and more definitive results at a later time. So in conclusion, these initial results suggest that cortical vessel wall enhancement, but probably not leptomeningeal enhancement, might be useful to distinguish between CAA-related inflammation and CAA. Of course, we need further research with a larger number of patients, and ideally other institutions too where they actually do biopsies, since we tend to be conservative and not do those. Great, thanks.